season, there is a team that out of nowhere shocks the world with a surprise run at the playoffs. Teams that nobody had projected to do anything suddenly catch fire and become forces to be reckoned with in the postseason. Whether it's personnel changes, the scheme finally clicking into place, or a combination of those and more, the right players, coaches, and team can come together at the perfect time to tear up the league. However, there's reasons why those teams were a surprise in the first place, and too often that newfound success ultimately proves unsustainable. The 2019 Tennessee Titans are a perfect example of a team that started from the bottom, now we're here. When after a dismal 2-4 start to the season with Marcus Mariota at quarterback, the veteran Ryan Tannehill stepped in and ignited them to a 7-3 finish and a wild card berth, where they sent Tom Brady and then Lamar Jackson home before losing in the AFC Championship. With Derrick Henry truck sticking through the league per usual, paired with Tannehill playing above and beyond the best football of his career, the Titans offense got literally twice as good. They went from 0.44 points per minute with Mariota to 0.99 with Tannehill. And for context, the Chiefs' Super Bowl offense finished second with 0.77. The Titans were good, really good, but as we've seen before, there are no guarantees you'll improve in the offseason. Everyone was wondering if Tannehill, who went from a fringe starter to all of a sudden playing like a top 5 quarterback, would continue his astonishing ascension. Now in 2020, heading into week 13, we have our answer. The Titans are 8-3, second in the AFC in points scored, and are sitting atop the AFC South. With Tannehill, King Henry, plus A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, and several other key players, the team has proved that 2019's success was not a fluke. When their offensive coordinator Arthur Smith was hired at the beginning of last year, he designed a system built around the Titans' best players. Then when Tannehill was plopped into the mix, that system took off and has created long-term sustainability. Their approach and philosophy begins with Derrick Henry running the ball. Then from there, they flawlessly weave in play-action concepts off of the same run action to make the run and pass indiscernible. When Tannehill took over last year, they led the league in play-action pass rate at 52%, and this year, they're the third highest. By creating a package of concepts from identical formations and personnel groupings that seamlessly flow together, everything looks the same to the defense. Today, we'll go step by step on how they built this package, and why every area of each concept is devastating even just by itself. Everything the Titans do works because of Derrick Henry and the zone run system they've designed for him. Inside zone, mid zone, outside zone, the King dominates in whatever they can cook up for him. Take this example against the Ravens tied 24 up in overtime, where the Titans are running wide zone. Zone schemes call for each lineman to take lateral bucket steps to force the defensive line to attack towards the sideline as opposed to downhill. Wide zone tells Henry to set his track towards the outside leg of the tight end. Then he can either hit this front side on a bounce read, or if the line is flowing hard enough, he can cut back through these naturally open lanes. Though the concept is designed to go outside, Henry immediately sees Pernell McPhee flash towards the edge, so he turns his attention towards the open C gap. With Justin Ellis the A-gap defender, Derek Wolfe the B-gap, and Patrick Queen in the C, the linemen have to hold Wolfe inside and not allow Queen to make it over the top. As Henry heads towards that C-gap, he sees Queen through the line, so he knows he has to press his blocks to hold both defenders. Queen isn't sure if Henry's going back to the A-gap since Ellis didn't really hold his position, or if he's continuing to the C. And cause Henry pushes the B-gap till the last second, both he and Wolfe are caught inside. This creates better leverage for each of the linemen, especially when Henry gets Wolfe to dive inside. And as he clears the first wave, his vision, speed, and power take over and he wins the Titans the game. Usually a back this massive who might possess Henry's crazy speed doesn't have adequate stop-start ability, but he can almost play like a smaller back would and immediately reset and burst in and out of his cuts at top speed. And somewhere, Earl Thomas is smiling that he is not there. The zone run game is the first thing on every defense's mind as they prepare for the Titans. So as the offense adds more elements for them to think about, each individual concept and similar concepts become even more effective. Here's their split zone run, which is a common variation for zone schemes. Conceptually speaking, it has the same zone blocking techniques up front, but adds a skill player sifting across the formation to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. Since it's inside split zone, Henry is now reading the inside leg of the guard, and because of the sift action from Jonnu Smith, there's a better chance for him to hit this backside. You can see him reading the defense at the mesh point. He can use a bounce read, which is covered up, a bang read, which also isn't there, or a bend read, which brings him all the way across the formation. Once again, by pressing those gaps tight to his blockers, each defender jumps heavier into each gap, which helps give Henry the opening he's looking for. No running back in the NFL is his size, but even the guys who come close cannot move their feet this fluidly, which is just another aspect that makes him special. When the Titans use these condensed formations with all 11 players in the frame, there are a million different things they can do off of this look. With the Texans playing man, look at everything they have to account for. With the corners on the receivers and safety and linebacker on the tight ends, all this action creates a gaping hole for Henry. Zach Cunningham is Jeff Swaim in man, so if Adam Humphries picks him on a pass play, Swaim is wide open to the flat. Justin Reed is Jonnu Smith and has to follow him to the flat as well. But since Jonnu is blocking, that completely wastes Reed in the run fit, and he runs right out of the play. In many ways, the Titans have created a positionless offense, where each player can be effective in multiple spots. Their receivers can block, their tight ends can catch, everyone in the unit is big, and everyone is fast. That versatility can be deadly, especially when you're gearing up every play for King Henry and you see AJ Brown's flying upfield to smash you with a block. But it turns out it's play action and he breaks inside for a 70-yard touchdown. What feels like 80% of Brown's career production has come on the drift concept, which is a quick-hitting play-action pass that's designed to suck up the linebackers so Brown can quickly find the void behind them. Once they fire up towards the line of scrimmage to stop the run, his quick-twitch agility, acceleration, and speed are a perfect fit to attack over-eager defenses. Sometimes, to break alignment tendencies or to sync up with the run action, the Titans will even have him fake a stock block to mess with the secondary. Then he'll accelerate into his drift route. If you go to any 2019 AJ Brown highlight compilation, you'll see this happen repeatedly, but the drift route is not a simple play or route whatsoever, just one that AJB has mastered. Here's an example against the Colts, where Brown's lined up against Rock Ya-Sin, who's in man coverage. The Titans will often position Brown inside the numbers in a cut split, so the drift route can hit quicker, which can be tougher for the corner since Brown is more of a two-way go. Rock Ya-Sin is playing soft press with outside leverage, so he'll try and jam Brown a few yards off the line. To open space to the inside, Brown attacks his outside leverage with a spray release, faking like he's running a spray out. His head, shoulders, and body give Rock a hard sell outside to move him in that direction, and with Rock off balance, all Brown has to do is beat this inside arm to get wide open. Not only does he use a wipe move, but he first grabs Rock's arm like it's a Go-Gurt, then wipes straight up with his other hand. He presses vertical to keep Rock outside, then on his sixth step gives a violent stick inside to break free and take it the rest of the way. With AJ Brown and Derrick Henry alternating off plays that look nearly identical, it is brutal on the defense, and has been a perfect fit not just for them, but Ryan Tannehill as well. With quick-hitting concepts like this drift route, every detail of the play needs to be executed with impeccable timing, which is one of Tannehill's strengths. In plays under 2.5 seconds this season, he has 16 touchdowns to just 1 interception, and can easily control the underneath to intermediate areas of the field on a consistent basis. The play-action game fits his skill set well. He's in the right system for him, and can help elevate the Titans' elite surrounding talent. So now that we've seen the zone scheme paired with the split action and the drift concept, we can see how the Titans mix in all these different things, then bring them all together. Against the Texans, tied 36-36 in overtime, they run a play-action pass off of split zone action with the drift concept behind it, and even add a fake end around just to really screw with the defense. But when the drift route slips and falls, Henry, who was initially the fake guy in play action, slides to the flat and picks up 54 yards to set the Titans up for the win. They're forcing the Texans to account for all their individual concepts wrapped up into one. Here's Henry on the fake. The linemen all looking like they're zone blocking, the split action coming across the formation, which also makes for a perfect seal on the outside, a receiver on the fake end around who can also turn into a receiving option to the flat, then Tannehill looking to find the drift who's not there, so after all of that, he goes to find Henry wide open up the sideline. They're not asking Tannehill to be a player he's not. They had a system in place that needed a quarterback, and Tannehill was a good quarterback who needed a system. The Titans have proven the importance of not just having a long list of great play calls and concepts, but a cohesive group of concepts that ebb and flow off of one another. Any coach can steal any play and install it, but having a true system is what separates the great from the good. When everything looks the same to the defense, you can run just a few concepts over and over. They might know what's coming, they just don't know when it's coming. So if they're overplaying one thing, the Titans can just feed them another. Does the offense have warts? Sure. They're not perfect. And now that their defense has fallen off, they need Tannehill, Henry, A.J. Brown, and the rest to carry them. But this is a team that rose from the ashes of mediocrity, built and toughened through adversity. They're not going to sneak up on anybody, but they don't need to. Winter is coming. And that's when the King starts to catch fire. With Tannehill at the helm, it's time for the Titans to turn up.